Hey everybody, what's up? Back to our part 3 of this wonderful, fun, exciting Kiss series that we have here. We're getting into the hard ones, that is for sure. Today we are going to knock out doing the Ace Frehley look. A lot of it I'm going to leave to narration because this one I just want to sit, focus, zone in, and get the look right for you. So let's go ahead and jump in real quick and get started. So first things first, you're always going to want to go in and wash your face. Today I'm using the Laura Vera Skin Cleanser to make sure that my face is nice and clean. The second step is going to be moisturizing. I stress this every video. There's a lot of powder that is being used, so please use your best moisturizer on your face to make sure that you just don't get really dry. Third step is going to be priming your eyelids with your eyeshadow base. I'm using NYX today and just putting it all over your eyelid. After that, we are going to start with color. I'm using the James Charles palette today, and I am using a combination of Playground and Brother, and basically all it is that I am doing is putting both of those colors all over my eyelid evenly. I'm just trying to blend them out to just cover the entire eyelid on both sides. I am bringing the color all the way up to the brow bone and also bringing it down. The next step is going to be eyeliner. With the eyeliner, I'm just using the Benefit Cosmetics eyeliner, which I will link down below, and putting that on my upper lash line as well as along the bottom of my lash line as well. From here, we're going to grab our little silver tray, our Clown White Ben Nye paint, grab our knife and just scrape out a little bit of the white paint and put it onto your little plate on the side. It's the best way to stay clean. And from there, we're going to focus on putting the white paint in these general areas around our face. I grabbed a sponge and I wet it just a little bit and kind of strung it out. And after doing that, I just started dabbing up all of the white all over my face. Take your time. Be even with it and just pat it around. As we're patting this around, let's go ahead and jump into talking a little bit about Ace Frehley himself. Ace Frehley was born Paul Daniel Frehley, and he was born on April 27th, 1957. He was born in the Bronx, and he was raised in the Bronx, and he was the youngest of 3 children. His dad was of Dutch ancestry and his mom was from North Carolina. Overall, he grew up in a pretty musical family. At the age of 13, he got his very first guitar, and from there, he just soaked himself into it, self-learning everything on guitar, never went to music school, never took guitar lessons. He just loved it so much that he just kept on trying to learn as much as he humanly could. The next step we are going to do after we have painted our face white is jump in and use that same black eyeliner that we used on our eyes and use that eyeliner stick to draw out the little star look that he has on his face. You are just going to draw out the outline of it. So definitely take your time, be patient. If you do make mistakes, all you have to do is grab a Q-tip and erase it and then redab some more white paint over it. So have no fear, just go slow, nice and easy. Continuing though with Ace Frehley, he got the name Ace very young. He got the name Ace from his friends actually, because they said that he was the real ace because he could get the attention of all the girls and pull all the girls to go on dates. So that's how he got the name Ace, and Ace just kind of stuck around from there. The next step is going to be grabbing a bunch of Q-tips and basically erasing all of the white that is inside of our little shape that we created. As I've said before, if you put black on top of white, you're going to make gray. So what we're going to do is just erase it all in between and make sure that it's pretty clean on the inside. From there, our next step is going to be grabbing our RCMA translucent powder and basically just packing it onto anything that is white. So far, What that's going to do is make sure that everything stays in place and nothing really moves. As I've said in other videos relating to Kiss, if you do not do this step and you do not add the powder, things will move and shift. So you will be at a party and your face is going to be on someone else's t-shirt. So make sure you definitely put the powder on. From here, our next step is going to be adding in the black. I'm using the Ben Nye Cream Black and grabbing a bit of a thicker brush to create the outline that goes around Ace Frehley's face. This part was a little bit tricky, so definitely take your time, be slow, pay attention, all of that. And let's continue on the topic of Ace Frehley, shall we? We shall. So, in his early years, Ace Frehley was definitely in a lot of bands, similarly to most musicians. He was in a band called The Outage, another one called The Four Roses, King Kong, Honey, and The Magic People. One of his later bands that he was in, it was called Cathedral, and he started to play some gigs here and there, and he was like, hey, you know what, they're paying, so I'm going to drop out of high school. And after he dropped out, obviously his parents and his girlfriend at the time were like, oh no, this ain't good, you need to go back to school. So he did end up going back to school and finishing his graduation. He, from there, got a random string of just like random odd jobs, including a mail carrier. He was a furniture deliverer. He was a messenger, liquor store delivery person, so a lot of delivery type stuff. But that was kind of the job that he was getting at the time. So next we're going to go into the cleaning up process. Similarly to the white, we're going to take a bunch of Q-tips and basically just erase certain areas that have an excess of the black, particularly around the points. This is just going to help the silver process, which is coming up next, a little bit more. After we clean up those edges, we are going to go in again with that translucent powder and just pack it all in, make sure that the black does not move and it stays in place. I'm using a smaller brush for this area just to make sure that I don't accidentally move the black, because I have done that quite a few times in other videos, and while you can fix it, it's super annoying to try to fix. So definitely trying to limit my motion. From here, on that same little palette, I went ahead and mixed a little bit of the Mayron Metallic Powder in Silver, along with the Graftobian Magic Set Mixing and Lining Liquid. And that is helping me create this really beautiful silvery look. I snagged my thinnest brush and just used that to outline the black and try to make it as even as possible. And then eventually snagged a thicker brush to fill in the rest. As we sit here and film it, let's talk about Kiss. So, obviously he's a part of Kiss. How did he get there? Well, I'm glad that you asked. I know we briefly spoke about it in the Gene Simmons video, but basically both Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons put up an ad in the paper, and the ad was basically looking for a guitarist. At the time, they were only a three-piece set with Gene, Paul, and Peter Criss, and they were just looking to completing their trio with a guitar player. In late 1972, he had a friend called Chris Casson, or Casson, I don't know how to say it, and he saw the ad in the paper and basically gave it to Ace, and Ace ended up going to go and audition for both Paul and Gene, and when he arrived, I've heard this from a few different sources. Apparently he arrived with one red shoe and one orange shoe, and it was kind of one of those quirky things where everyone was like, what? But once he shredded and he played his instrument, basically it was like a done deal that like, yeah, you know what, we want you a part of our band. And that's exactly what happened. They added him in, and boom, he was the guitar player for Kiss. Kiss went on to just spend their early days rehearsing, playing in empty clubs, all of that kind of stuff, and debuted their first album in 1974. They all decided to do the face paint and the face designs, and Ace ended up becoming the Space Ace, and later his stage persona was known as the Space Man. Ace was also responsible for doing the graphics for the actual logo itself for Kiss and creating the two lightning bolts.
He originally was actually going to go to school for graphic design, but ended up picking up the guitar and just sticking with it. So I thought that was pretty cool. And also Paul Stanley ended up working on the graphic as well, but primarily it was Ace who came up with the design. In 1980, Kiss ended up voting out Peter Criss from the band, and shortly thereafter, they ended up also voting out Ace Frehley from the band as well, and ended up replacing him with Vinnie Vincent. Frehley, though, did retain 1/4 share in the Kiss partnership until 1985. In 1984, he started his post-Kiss solo career assembling a band. And he did a band, and the band kind of teeter-tottered between the name Ace Frehley and Frehley's Comet. They recorded a series of demos between 1984 and 85, and they performed their first live show in 1984. In 1996, Frehley rejoined Kiss for a successful reunion tour with all 4 of its original members. And in 2018, he also reunited with Kiss for the Kiss Cruise. Ace also released his autobiography, No Regrets, a rock and roll memoir, in 2011, and it entered the New York Times bestsellers list in the hardcover nonfiction category at number 10. And the last step is going to be grabbing your liquid lipstick. I'm using the MAC liquid lipstick in the color Caviar, and basically just putting on the lipstick pure black. And as you're doing it, especially on the top line, make sure that you kind of give it 2 points, because he did have 2 points at the top of his lips.
Holy shit, that one was a stressful one. Oh my goodness. The key to getting this look nailed and to make it just exactly what you want it to look like is number 1, patience. Number 2, an influx of tools. What really helped me out this time around is having a bunch of different brushes that were different sizes. If I would have had any brush that was any bigger or any smaller than some of these, I probably would not have been able to complete this look. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that this was beneficial for you guys. It was fun doing it. It was a lot of work, and I think you guys can do it. Just like I said, come prepared with as many tools as you possibly can, because man, this one is tricky. But thank you guys so much for watching. This is my Ace Frehley Kiss look. We have one more left, and that is Peter Criss, and that will be next week. So make sure you subscribe, and make sure if you haven't gotten the chance to check out the other videos linked up and around. Thank you guys so much again for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See ya!